So this is Baruch at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and today I want to teach you a principle in Kabbalah that's important for the Zohar that we want to learn in a few minutes. It's a concept called Ovi. Normally, when we think in terms of Partzufim and the flow of light, then we normally think of it as going from the top to the bottom, or if we said that there's such a thing as a returning light, then we say that this light is going from the bottom to the top. But at any rate, this is always a vertical solution, but it turns out that the word Ovi, which means thick, a view from the thickness, because it turns out there's another view and another way to be able to understand the relationships between Partzufim and Spheros. And although I'm not a great drawer, but I want to be able to deliver the concepts. I maybe have to draw them to myself. So let's make a column in the middle of this, and we'll make it look like this. Let me see if I can see it down below. Where would my pencil be? Okay, put it right here. And there's another one right here. And I'll take my ruler and I'll connect them. Okay, so we have this column. Now, so it didn't come out so good over here. Try it again. Okay, so this the column we're going to call Eric Onpin. Boy, it's really hard for me to get these things to work. Eric Onpin. That's how I write it. And so let's take Eric Onpin and let's divide him up to a Chabad and a Chagat and a Nai. Now let's take another one. Let's make another circle, another cylinder rather. I'm going to call this Abba ve'ima. We'll just make an Abba, an ayin, an aleph on each side. And let's take it down to the bottom. Try to get this thing to continue to work. There we go. And this is going to be the Abba column. Okay, it didn't work out exactly. I'm just no good at drawing, and my pen is not the world's greatest either. And this could be another one on the side of that. And just for the sake of simplicity, we'll bring it down to the bottom again. So this is another column. So now we have three columns. It's the Abba ve'ima column. And this is going to be the column of Zachar v'Nuk. So here's the Zachar, and here's the Nuk. Okay, now, according to my things, you have on the outside, the middle column, you want to say that this is the column of Eric Onpin. It has a Chabad, Chagat, Nai. That is a Rosh, a Toch, and a Sof. Then if you come surrounding this Partzuf, is another Partzuf called Abba and Ima, right? It's exactly the same. It has a Chagat too. A Chabad. It has a Chagat and it has a Nai. Just the same way. When you reach down to the bottom, of course there'll be a Malchus down there. And then you go from Zachar v'Nuk. They also are surrounding in the same way. So that you have a Chabad, a Chagat, and a Nai. So here we have the same ideas float all the way across. But what's the domination, or what's the right way? What's the right words for it? What's the common denominator of all of this? Well, this is called Ovi. And what it means to say is that the Partzufim are always duplicates. They're one wraps around the other. Now, it's true because we say that since we say, and we've said many times, that the concept of being up above is also the concept of being inside. Well, it turns out that the concept of the flow that goes from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top, also goes sideways. So that we see that the main light, let's say that this line right here, this line, the center line, as if we could say that, is the line of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Let's say that's what that is. So, therefore, the Ein Sof Baruch Hu is wrapped inside of Eric Anpin. And Eric Anpin is wrapped inside of Abba and inside of Ima, another whole set of Partzufim that go like that. And then they are wrapped on the outside by Zachar V'Nok, by Zer Anpin and his Nok. Now this is the concept of Ovi. It's important to understand this because in our Zor that we're going to understand today, there's going to be some talk about the switch between the Zer Anpin, and then you have to go all the way around to the other side, and the Nukba. We're going to talk about the Chagat of Zer Anpin and the Chagat of the Nukba, and that's going to be kind of the idea. But this is an idea called Oivi. Now, if you have any questions about this, or if you don't like the way I drew it, which I can understand, write me something. Give me a criticism. Let me know. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Call.